Alright, man, we back with another one. We got this 03 Ford Explorer. Finna do an alternator on it. Got a call about a client that I normally service on a daily basis, so it's definitely easy for me to come out here and service him at his job work site while he's doing his business, or handling things he needs to do. So like I tell people, all about this mobile business, man, it's only about convenience. But let's get started. See, do y'all even see that? Get y'all a little bit closer, but y'all see that I put the vice grips on that hood strap. The hood struts are failing. Let's get started. We can unplug this connector, and basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this whole intake off and get it out the way. Get my setup going. So I'm using a 8mm to take this intake off, this tubing off. You can use a flathead screwdriver. You're able to use a flathead screwdriver in that same piece. I just like to use an 8mm with a gun. It's more quicker. It's more convenient. This shit right here slide right off of this air filter thing. It's probably been on here a minute. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use a flathead and actually pry in between it just to get it to loosen up. You can see here that it's been on here a minute, so of course a lot of things just don't come off as easily as it should. But now you see, once I pried it, boom, I was able to get it off. I'm gonna take this cover off. That cover's been held on by these two 10mm bolts, so I'm gonna take that off next. Make sure y'all seeing this before y'all get to complaining. Zoom in. Try to get this YouTube thing going, y'all. Give y'all the content that y'all been looking for. Try to give y'all raw content, and that's not a 10. I think it's a 12. That was just at 11. Oh, it is 11. Make sure. Yep, it's enough. It's 11mm. Not sure that's the factory bolts, but mine's is 11. Cool. I got a manual tray. I choose not to use it. Yes, I know. It's more easy, it's more convenient. But sometimes I use, sometimes I don't. Just my personal preference. Once you take them two bolts off the side right here, it literally has these little pieces where it sits in it. All you have to do, well, just these two, all you have to do is lift up. It should come right up. You're not gonna feel like you're gonna break. It may feel like you're gonna break something, but you're not. So we've already loosened that intake here. So next, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna disconnect that intake from the throttle body. That's another 8mm. That same clamp that I told you about where you can use that flathead, same thing. I'm gonna see, am I gonna take this loose from it? I'm gonna see, can I first take it off and just pry it to the side, or put it to the side maybe, or I may just take these loose as well. But let me take my 8mm and loosen the clamp here. Try to wiggle, a lot of times a little wiggle will help break it free a lot of times. For the video, okay, never mind, I can probably, just put it to the side. Sometimes you don't want to have to take all that extra. Okay, next, you're gonna take that tensioner out. The tensioner is right here. And basically you're gonna stick a 3/8 or a 1/2 drive ratchet in here to loosen it. If I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking that's a 1/2 inch. And if I'm not mistaken, you're gonna turn it counterclockwise. So let me sit up real fast and I'll be right back. I got my ratchet in it, and all you're gonna do is literally turn it counterclockwise. Oh, never mind. It is actually clockwise. So I was actually told y'all the wrong way. Instead of counterclockwise, it's actually clockwise. I mean, I don't know these things off the rule of my head, so don't expect me to be perfect, but just work with me. So you see here, loosen the tension, boom. I just want to take the belt off, just the alternator. You don't need to take the belt off everything. You only taking the alternator off. A lot of people like to go extreme, take the whole belt off. You don't have to do all that. You're doing too much. So make sure y'all still able to see everything y'all need to see. And then, let me zoom in here. So I'm gonna leave that ratchet right there. So next, you have this harness right here. I'm gonna unplug that connector. So you just gonna, the connector is on this back side. You should feel a tab on that connector. You should be able to push in on it, and what's this? Yeah, you should be able to push in on it. You see, can I get it with my hands? If not, I will use some pliers. Let me use this flat head to push in on it. Sometimes you gotta get your hands dirty and get on up there. You see here, but basically I'm gonna push in on that tab. So, like I said, sometimes you need that little extra help. Sometimes these connectors, sometimes they can be stubborn. But basically, this is the tab right here, and basically all you're gonna do is push in on it. I'm not sure if y'all can see that or not, but you basically want to push in on it. That's it. Next, you got the main power wire. Now, what I should have done when I first started this job was take the battery terminal loose. I still got time to do it, so let's do it. I'm just gonna take the ground off the battery cable, and it's an 8mm for mine. Might not be the same for yours. I'm gonna take that negative ground and put it off to the side so it's not, allowing any power to be here on that alternator before we touch it, because if you touch it and it's still hot, you can create blow-by spark, and it can damage the module, basically whole electrical system. Trust me, I'm not trying to go too in depth with it, but just watch yourself. Just watch yourself, man. You don't want to be tearing up stuff more than what you're supposed to be fixing. Parts ain't cheap, and nowadays, bro, it's hard to afford anything. So let's keep going. We're gonna take the bolt, the nut. It's a nut, not a bolt. I'm gonna take the nut off the alternator. It's a 10mm on my end. Hopefully y'all can see this. Let me check. But just took the nut off. Like I said, just a nut, and then here's that wire. It just literally pulls up. So you got the connector and the power wire off, and then right here it basically just sits on the slot of this bolt, so you literally just pull up just like that. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna sit that to the side. Make sure y'all seeing everything. Y'all see everything. Cool. Let's see here next. Looks like we're gonna have to take this bracket off. So it looks like the only thing we honestly have left is the 4 bolts on the top where this bracket is, and then the 2 main bolts at the bottom that's actually holding it in. And then that's it. It should be able to come off. So let's get those off real fast. I think this one is a 10mm. I'm gonna go and tell you right now, this is my favorite tool, man. I don't have time to be sending these jobs all day. You can use a regular ratchet at home. Nothing wrong with that. Me personally, this is my full-time business, so I don't have time to really sit here and ratchet each boat off. It is, it just don't make sense to me. I got a lot of clients to reach to, and I ain't gonna never reach them doing that. And we just gonna get this. Can't get on that boat like I want to. Let me see here. Might use a short 10. Use a short 10 here to get under that boat, so I'm not damaging that boat more than what I've done to that little edges already. Let's see here. Cool. Take the bracket off. Next, we're gonna take off the main bolts at the bottom. Like I pointed out, the two at the very bottom here. 1, 2. Take those off real fast. Alternator should come right on off. And it look like for this one, you honestly don't have to take it all the way off. I'll explain what I mean. I'm just gonna loosen that one. I'm not gonna take it all the way off, and I'll show you exactly what I see. Once I get done taking this other bolt off on the directly other side. Same thing for this. I'm not gonna take those bolts all the way out. You don't have to, so just gonna lift up and squeeze this alternator right from around it. So you see the alternator is out. So basically what I was trying to explain is the reason I didn't take those two bottom bolts out, because there's a slot that it actually just sits on. I mean that it sit on, not sits on. Sit on. So yeah, you don't have to take those two bottom bolts out. They just take them out enough to where it's loosened. You can sit the alternator back on easily so it can support itself. You can bolt it back on and you're able to put the top bracket on. So yeah, this is the old one. Let me grab the new one. I normally get my parts through Advance. They're just a brand that I like to stick with. They haven't done me wrong, so I'm not going to change up on them now. So the part number I have for this one is 7773 Alpha. It's a Carquest Premium Alternator. And then, of course, you always want to compare your old alternator to the new one. But just from the speaking of comparing it, this one doesn't look the same, or it does not look right. Let me see here. I think this connector is wrong. So like I said, man, you run into issues like this all the time. This is not the right alternator. So I guess I'm gonna pause the video, and then I guess I'll be back once I get the right alternator. But clearly, just from that one I just took off, it does not look the same. Nor does the connector matches up. So that's why I say it's always good to, and that's a good example, man. I'm glad I was able to make that in this video. You gotta compare these parts to make sure they're right. So I'm back. So of course we got the right alternator down. So the problem we ran into the alternator was that the client told me it was an Explorer. I had priced it for an Explorer, and it was actually an Expedition. So it was just a miscommunication issue. But let's only put it back in. So only thing we're gonna do is reverse the procedure. So I'm gonna sit it back on the boat so it can support itself. Let me slide it back in. You just want to be careful so you don't damage anything else while you're in the process of doing that. And before I tighten those bottom bolts, I'm gonna put this the bracket from that was holding it on the top. I'm gonna start the bolts first before I actually tighten everything down. So let me find where I even put that bracket at real fast, and y'all probably even see it in the video if I put it somewhere. Why this is the life of a mechanic. I grab stuff and don't even know where I put them. Let me see. It's right here. So boom. So I'm gonna put that bracket back on. Start the bolts with it. So of course the bolt with that long stud on top is that one on the very far left front, and you should remember that just because that's where you took off the harness, or where it holds the harness on itself, so it's not like, you know, out of place or something like that. You get what I'm saying. I'm gonna start the bolts on the back side. Now we can tighten all the bolts up. Cool, so alternator's on there, it's good, it's tight, it ain't moving nowhere. That's what you want. Next, we're just gonna reverse the procedure. Like I said, now we're gonna put the harness, connect the harness back on. So we're gonna plug the connector back in, and we're gonna plug the connector back in, and we're gonna also put the power wire back on the alternator. So let me see where I put it off to the side at. If I can find it. Oh, here it goes. It's literally in my face. Push this little tab back so I'm able to see the wire actually. And it's no way you can put this on wrong, man. It's got a slide there for it only to fit in one way. Another thing that I recommend, start y'all bolts before y'all just tighten them down with these guns, man. See a lot of times from doggone scripting the bolts, man, or, you know, scripting wherever you're putting it in just because you're rushing it. Leader for that connector, I'm pretty sure you may or you may not heard it in this video. I may was talking, but you should hear a click when you put that connector back in. Now the only way you may not hit that click is just because that tab on that connector is broken, but you should hear a click. And then see here, we're just gonna tighten that bolt up for the power wire. Now this bolt, it does not need to be that tight. So you see I didn't go crazy with the gun. You shouldn't even, unless you want to tear something up, that's always on you. But I'm just gonna go behind myself and with a baby 3/8 ratchet and just make sure it's tight. And see here, that's good. That's it. That's all it needs. See, so the connector's back in, power wires back on. You want to put the harness on that little tab. And then next, we have left is the put the belt back on. And right here, like I said, it should be sitting right there on top of that water pump. All the belt, everything else, all that should be still there. You just gonna loosen the tension up, and boom, put the belt back on. Simple as that, man. It's really not a complicated job. It's actually an easy one. Most of the time on the V8s, they're gonna be easy just because the pulleys are facing forward. So a lot of times these V8s alternators are gonna be way easier than those 4 cylinders and those 6 cylinders. So we got the belt back on. Boom, we're gonna put the intake back on. Put it there. Okay, boom, just wanna make sure y'all can see me. Hey man, my first time recording these YouTube videos, so don't expect the camera to be perfect at all times, but over the time, the more I practice, the more better I get at it. So hopefully y'all are getting good content from this. So boom. Like I said, very simple, very easy one. If I had to give it 3 wrenches, out of 3 wrenches, I would give it a 1. Just because I feel like you can do this at home and save you some money. That's if you want to, man. And if you don't want to save no money, you can always just call me and I can do it. I'm based out of Nashville, Tennessee. So all those surrounding areas, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Madison, Franklin, all those areas I do service. So if you're watching this and you need an alternator done, like I said, I do service those areas if you didn't want to do it yourself. And there's nothing wrong with you not wanting to do it yourself. Everybody's not mechanically inclined. So we got this back on like it should. I just plugged the battery back up, that negative cable. I'm gonna tighten it down real fast. And then let's put this cover on before I forget. Even though this cover does not do anything, you want to put all these parts back on just because it's not your car. So you cannot make that choice of what they should have and what they should not have in their car unless you ask. But boom, you're gonna, like I said, put that in position and hit it down where it's supposed to sit on. And then you're gonna put the bolts in on the side. Now, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I really can't see where these bolts go in. You really just gonna have to feel for it. But I got one started, so once you get one started, the other one should start easily too as well. I like how that felt. Let me see something now. I think I got the boat started right. Don't have to be tight on those bolts. It's plastic. So that's it, man. They don't have to be super tight. That's it of the video, man. I'm gonna try to crank it real fast. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna cut the camera. Let me try to see can I get it started. I'm not sure if the battery's dead or not.